You ever look in the mirror and think, wait a minute, when did my face get so long? Like your chin's trying to sneak out the door before your forehead catches up? Welcome to Glow After 60, where we skip the stress, skip the sales pitch, and just talk real solutions for real women who've lived a little. Today, we're talking long faces. Not the mopey kind. Your lovely, elegant, maybe a bit vertical face shape that you were probably told to balance with the right haircut. Back in 1987, you know, when bangs were fluffy, perms were fierce, and nobody warned us about humidity. Here's the deal. A long face isn't a flaw, it's just a feature. But the wrong hairstyle, that can quietly stretch things even more, like one of those funhouse mirrors. But less fun, more, why do I look tired? No worries though, we've got fixes. Simple, modern, flattering styles that actually work for where your hair, face, and life are at right now. No contouring, no crazy layering, just smarter shapes that bring out your best. So if your go-to cut hasn't changed since your favorite CD came out, no shade, we've all been there. And you're going to love what just a few small changes can do. Coming up, the one cut that everyone said would add volume, but secretly made. But tip 1, the crown volume trap. Let's start with a classic. You know that tip we all heard at some point? Add volume at the crown to lift your face. Well, I tried it for years, and at some point, I realized my hair was giving bouffant, while my face said, "Help, I'm on stilts." You might be doing this too. Teasing, spraying, fluffing the top like it's the main event, while the rest of your hair just sort of hangs there. I used to think I looked taller. Turns out, I just looked longer. Like my head had a little top hat made of hair. Here's the twist. When your face is already on the longer side, piling volume up there just stretches things even more. The eye goes straight up, and suddenly everything feels vertical. Face, hair, mood. And that's not even the worst part. When the top's too tall and the sides are flat, it makes your features feel narrower, sharper, and a little more severe than they need to. Elegant? Maybe. Approachable? Not so much. So what actually works? Try shifting the volume outward, not upward. Think gentle width at the cheekbones or jawline, soft waves, a fuller bob, or even some side-swept layers. They add shape where you want it and balance where you need it. Your face gets to breathe a little, and honestly, so do your roots. And no, this doesn't mean going full 70s disco on the sides. Just a little shape to soften the vertical. You'll still get lift, just the flattering kind. Plus, let's be real, less teasing means less breakage, and fewer products means less gunk on the pillowcase. Ask me how I know. So if you've been aiming for height on top like it's a real estate battle, go ahead and let it go. Your face will thank you. Coming up next, the bangs debate and why the right fringe can do more for a long face than any contour stick ever could. Tip 2, bangs, the right kind, not the panic trim. Let's talk bangs. Oh yes, those. There's the kind you cut yourself at 10 with safety scissors. The kind you tried again at 40 after a breakup. And then there's the kind that actually work for a long face after 60, which, by the way, is not the same thing as just cut something across the forehead and hope for the best. Ask me how I know. Here's the truth. Bangs can be your best friend or your biggest face-lengthening frenemy. It all comes down to shape, softness, and how they frame the right features. Too short? They can make your forehead look taller, like you're auditioning for vintage Barbie. Too thick and blunt? Suddenly your eyes disappear and your face looks like it's wearing a hair helmet. You want bangs that whisper, not shout. Something wispy, side-swept, maybe even feathered, like little curtains that soften the top third of your face without chopping it off. And if you're worried they'll feel too young, don't. The right fringe doesn't try to make you look 30. It just makes your features feel more balanced. Your cheekbones get a little spotlight. Your forehead gets a gentle hug. Your whole face goes from extra vertical to hello symmetry. Bonus? Bangs hide fine lines like a charm. And no one needs to know what your forehead's been up to since 1998. Now, if you've tried bangs before and hated them, it might not have been your face. It might have just been the wrong cut or a stylist who treated your hair like a geometry puzzle instead of a canvas. So if you've sworn off bangs forever, maybe, just maybe, it's time to reconsider. With the right ones, a long face suddenly feels more framed, less stretched, and a lot more you. Next up, why long straight styles might be dragging you down, and what to try instead if you're not ready to go short. Tip 3. The long and straight illusion. So let's talk about that safe hairstyle we've all defaulted to at some point. Long and straight. Smooth, simple, low maintenance. And if you're anything like me, you told yourself it was classic, elegant, ageless. Well, turns out on a long face, it's more like elongating, flattening, low-key exhausting. Here's the thing. Long, straight hair creates one continuous vertical line. It's basically a spotlight for your face shape. And not in a wow, she looks refreshed way. More like her hair looks like a waterfall and her chin might reach the floor. I used to think it made me look polished. But somewhere around 62, I caught my reflection and thought, why do I look like a draped curtain with cheekbones? And the irony? The longer and straighter the style, the longer and straighter your face tends to look. Especially as we age and lose a bit of volume around the cheeks and temples, long hair can actually make your face feel thinner and more drawn out. Now, this doesn't mean you have to chop it all off. Let's not be dramatic. But adding some movement, waves, soft layers, even just a bit of bend at the ends, can totally change the vibe. It breaks up that long vertical line, adds softness, and brings your features back into focus. Think effortless and light, not curtain call at the opera. And if you're nervous about losing that long hair identity, you're not alone. But your hair doesn't have to be short to be flattering. It just has to be shaped for you. Your length can stay. The drag, that's what we're trimming. So if your go-to look has been flat, long, and drama-free, maybe it's time to bring a little life back in, with shape, with bounce, with style that says, I'm still me, just a little wiser with my layers. Next up, why center parts might not be doing you or your lovely long face any favors. Tip 4. The center part conspiracy. Okay, let's talk about the part. Not the dramatic midlife one, the hair one. Specifically, the center part. Now, if you've been loyal to your middle part since the first time you saw Ali McGraw or wore bell-bottoms on purpose, I get it. It feels symmetrical, balanced, safe, like it keeps the peace between your left and right eyebrow. But here's the thing. On a long face, a sharp center part can secretly expose everything you're trying to balance. It creates a visual line straight down the middle. And guess what that line does? Yup, it adds more length. Suddenly, your lovely face looks even longer. And not in a graceful swan kind of way. More like, did my chin get promoted? And don't get me wrong, center parts have their place. On oval faces, on 20-year-olds, on magazine covers. But after 60, when our features soften and our hairline shifts a bit, a harsh part right down the middle can feel, well, less chic and more severe. That's why a soft side part can be magic. It breaks the symmetry just enough to add movement. It shifts the eye sideways, not downward. And it gives your face a little sass and softness all at once. Even better, you don't have to go full swoop. Just a gentle shift off-center, like your hair had a tiny opinion of its own. And if you're worried it'll feel too trendy or unfamiliar, don't. Side parts are timeless. They're flattering, and they tend to play nicely with fine hair, grays, and whatever your cowlick is up to this week. Bottom line, you don't need a full haircut to shift the vibe. Sometimes, just changing your part changes the whole frame. Coming up next, why the ends of your hair might be quietly dragging your whole face down, and the easy fix you can ask your stylist for. Tip 5. When heavy ends pull you down. Literally. You ever leave the salon thinking, nice cut, but why do I still look a little tired? Been there, more than once. And here's what I finally realized. Sometimes it's not your layers, your length, or even your part. It's the ends. Yep, just the ends. Those thick, blunt, heavy ones that sit at your collarbone like they're guarding a secret. I used to think they made my hair look fuller, stronger, more done. But instead, they just dragged everything down, face included. When your ends are thick and chunky, and especially if they're all one length, they create a hard horizontal line. That line cuts across your neck, exaggerates length in your face, and somehow manages to cancel out any volume you tried to add up top. It's like wearing ankle weights on your haircut. Pretty soon, everything feels lower, including your energy. But here's the fix. Ask for soft, feathered ends instead. Not wispy and thin, but gently tapered so they move. Ends that say, I'm here to lift and frame. Not, I'm anchoring your face to the earth. You don't need a full restyle. Just a little finesse at the finish. It's like swapping out clunky shoes for something with a little bounce. You still feel grounded, but suddenly you're moving lighter. And trust me, once those heavy ends are gone, your whole face perks up, like it just got a breath of fresh air. So next time you're in the chair, don't just ask for a trim, ask for freedom at the ends. Coming up, the final sneaky saboteur, flat sides, and why a little lift around your cheeks might just be the best free facelift out there. Tip 6. Flat sides, faded frame. Let's wrap with something subtle, but oh, does it make a difference? Flat sides, you know what I mean, when your hair just kind of hangs there. No volume at the cheeks, no movement, just two obedient panels of hair politely staying out of the way. I used to think this was the low-maintenance dream. No poof, no puff, just smooth and sleek. Turns out all that flatness around my face was doing one thing really well, making it look longer. Here's the quiet truth. Your cheeks are prime real estate. They're the heart of your expression, your smile, your softness. And when your hair skips right past them without so much as a wave hello, your whole face can feel unsupported, a little hollow, a little pulled. It's like wearing glasses with no frames. Technically fine, but where's the charm? That's why even a little lift at the sides can change everything. I'm talking soft layers that hit around the cheekbone, gentle texture that says, hey, let's draw the eye out, not down. You don't need to go full glam or break out the hot rollers. Even air-dried waves or a light flick with a round brush can do the job. And bonus, framing the face at the cheeks gives you that magic open look, like your whole face just exhaled and smiled. Plus, it's an easy tweak. No drastic chop, no dramatic statement, just a little sculpting where it counts. So if your hair's been feeling kinda meh lately, check the sides. You might just be a cheek framing layer away from a softer, lifted, youer version of you. Coming up next, the wrap-up. We'll revisit what we've learned and give one last little nudge toward the mirror and maybe your stylist's number. Face shape isn't the problem. Outdated advice is so. What did we learn? That it's not your face that needs fixing. It's usually just a few habits we picked up along the way, like sky-high crown volume, heavy ends, or clinging to that center part like it's a family heirloom. We've all done it. Why? Because the magazines told us to, or the stylist didn't mention it, or, let's be honest, we were just used to it. But here's the good news. You get to change your mind. You get to try a side part. You get to lighten those ends. You get to lift the focus to your cheekbones instead of your chin. Not because you have to, but because you can. Because aging doesn't mean fading. It just means updating. And honestly, you deserve a haircut that works with your face, not one that's secretly fighting it. One that reflects who you are now, not who you were when your shampoo came in a bar and your bangs were crunchy. So if even one of these little tweaks made you nod or chuckle, consider it a sign. You're not alone. And your next haircut? It might just be your best one yet. Tell us in the comments, what's one hair habit you're rethinking after this video? And if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to Glow After 60, and share this with a friend who's still teasing her crown like it's prom night. Until next time, be bold, be soft, and let your hair finally do you justice.